God meets us where we're at, where we're going, and who we're going to be. God is this way, always was, always is, always will be. This is the context of the Bible. Why is the Bible exclusive? Because the context of the Bible is very fixed. The setting of the Bible is fixed. The culture of the Bible is fixed. The customs of the Bible is fixed. That's why the Bible is very exclusive. It's been taught to be very exclusive. And the reason being is because it's under a covenantal system that only was applied to the people in Mesopotamia. Hi, I'm Merci, me mentor, and I am a theologian, a trainer, a thinker, and a teacher. And I am a deconstruction, reconstruction mentor. That's what I do. And so as Christendom and the crisis that I think a lot of Christianity and Christians are in is dealing with, okay, how do we view the Bible? Is Jesus the Bible that, the Jesus that we know, is it represented in the Bible correctly? And is Jesus, the Bible, all the same as God? I think this is very fundamentally what defines Christianity. And I want to challenge that view because in the Bible, why is it so exclusive? It's so exclusive because the context is very, very fixed. What do I mean by that? You're dealing with one people group, and that is the people from Adam. Adam was not the very first human of the whole universe or the beginning of time. Adam is fixated or fixed in the location of Mesopotamia. That's where you see in Genesis 2:10 the whole Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden. Eden was a city, state. Edom was a kingdom. Adam is now placed in that. And this garden motif in the Bible is known as a temple system. Why? Because in the ancient Near East, everybody understood that the only way you can have any connection to God is through a temple system. Back then, it was like a ziggurat, right? That had 3 levels. When we look specifically at the Bible and what God did to meet the Hebrews, the Semites, where they were, is that he then fashioned for them a 3-tier temple system as well, known as the outer courts, the holy place, and the Holy of Holies. And so when we understand the backdrop and the context of the Bible, and that it is specifically for the people in Mesopotamia, it began with Adam. It began with the Adamites, you might be able to say. Then they transferred that dominion of ruling, the fruitfulness mandate into what the Genesis 1:28 of, hey, we're now going to become the Jacobites, and then these Jacobites become Israelites. That is the people group that the Bible is centered on and is focused on. Why? Because it's only within that covenantal system. The covenantal system that was between God and the Adamites. That system is continuing all the way through until Jesus arrives, and he is the last Adam. When you look in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 45, it talks about how Jesus is the last Adam. So you have a single covenantal story that began with Adam and then ended with Jesus. This is the exclusiveness of the context of the Bible with this specific people group. Now, within that specific people group, what you're dealing with in a covenantal kingdom mandate conquest scenario, you now have to ask the question, well, was it the whole globe? Was it the whole world? What is this? No, it was only in Mesopotamia. The culture of the Bible is an ancient Near Eastern culture, and it's stated in the biblical account of Mesopotamia. nowhere else. But as time went on, that area is expanding, which they would have been calling that area the four corners of the earth. You see, in ancient times, they believed that the earth was flat, and whatever their kingdom was, and as far as the eye could see, that was the four corners of their kingdom. And that is the setting, the physical geography of the setting of the Bible, and it needs to stay there. That's why it's exclusive, it's fixed. And we need to look at the biblical story through the land of the people there, through the people themselves. And when we understand that, we recognize what? That it is solely for the Jacobites that became the Israelites. What you're seeing is that the apostate Israelites had to be judged for them not wanting to be part of the new covenantal system. That those that were a part of that new covenantal system, they came into the new covenant kingdom through Jesus, and those that didn't were taken away in 70 AD. So this story that we are told is, a universal story of Adam being the first human, and then now it applies to all humans. That needs to be challenged because the Bible doesn't state that. The Bible does not show that. Secondly, that now through the person of Jesus, that this gospel message is supposed to penetrate through, and everyone now must become a Christian. Everyone now must obey the Bible. Everyone now must get saved. This kind of mentality, you're going to start asking different questions about that. Like, is that really true? Because the Bible is only specifically talking about the 12 tribes of Israel, which Jesus was a part of. He finished that whole system, the covenantal system. Yes, both the old covenant and the new covenant system. He finished that system, and because those that did not want to come into the kingdom of Jesus got judged in 70 AD, it all finished in 70 AD. And we now are looking into that story past the history point. We're looking into the past. We're not looking into the future. This is why the Bible is very exclusive, again, with the people, with the place. If we recognize this, we will be asking very different questions about what is our faith, what's our value system, how do we look at the world, how is God operating through us and in us, and what does this mean for the salvation of everyone on planet Earth? This is what we're doing in that deconstruction, reconstruction stages of, I think, what we're experiencing, an existential crisis here, especially in America, with so much going on. And I help people walk through that as we look into the Bible. Does the Bible actually say that this is for and applies to everyone? Or is this a very specific, very defined, exclusive story? And that's what I want to unpack. So if you click on the link in my video here, I have this conversation I'm having in a podcast, and click on that. I have other videos in his Better Understanding the Bible YouTube channel, and start watching those videos and the conversation that I'm having. It's a very informal setting, informal conversation, and through that you're going to better grasp where I'm coming from and where I'm going with this. Because I am absolutely challenging that the Bible is very exclusive, but God is inclusive, because God transcends the Bible, and that there is a universal message that needs to be extracted out of that exclusive, one-time setting, single covenantal story of the Semite people. If you like this channel, please like it, share it with those that you know, and let's spread this understanding of better understanding the Bible, better understanding context, better understanding audience relevance.